Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. I know that at this time of year there are probably a lot of you who have just taken your kids out of public school and are just getting into the beginning of your homeschool year. So today I decided that I'm going to share with you the most important thing that you need to do when transitioning from public school to homeschooling. And I'll tell you that it probably is something that you've seen a lot, but I just want to reiterate it because I don't think that people realize how important it is. The most important thing for you to do when you are transitioning from school to homeschooling is deschooling. Now, for those of you who don't know what deschooling is, deschooling means living every single day as if it were a Saturday or summer vacation. It means even though your school year may have technically started, you haven't really, no, you shouldn't at all put anything into plan for your homeschool year. Don't plan anything. Don't even think about school for the time being. Just live. You do your thing, your kids can do their thing, and sure, you need to observe them during this time. But I really need you to get as far away from the school mindset as possible during this time. And I do have a longer video on deschooling if you still aren't sure what it is, and I will link to that in the description box. But moving on, for those of you who do know what deschooling is, I know that if you're anything like I was pretty sure of myself, and I thought to myself, well, I've read a lot of books, and I know now that homeschooling doesn't have to look like school. And so I'm sure that there's a lot of you who are thinking that too. But I've got to tell you that I don't care how many blogs you've read about homeschooling. I don't care how many articles you've read about it. You're never going to get the deschooling process unless you actually put it into practice. Because you could read blog post upon blog post, and you could watch video after video of how homeschooling shouldn't look but like school, and you could think that you're an expert on this whole thing. But when you're actually living that life, it is far too easy to fall back into the mindset of thinking, if my son was in school right now, he would be doing this, so I should probably put something like this in. And yeah, it sneaks up on you, but when it hits you, it is full force and you will start to panic, which is why deschooling is so important. And I don't think that a lot of people attach the importance to it that it really needs. You really do need to make sure that you do this, because when you are deschooling, it actually gives you the opportunity to kind of separate yourself from the whole public school environment. And you know what? It's good for parents need to deschool as well as the kids, okay? The parents need to deschool because most of you have been in a traditional school setting. So you grew up, having the bell ring, and you grew up, having all of your assignments in front of you and the teacher doing the problems on the board, 45-minute lectures, standing in the lunch line, raising your hands to go to the bathroom. Most of us have been through that, but I want you to think about that. Picture that in your head, okay? Picture all the students in the class just filling out a paper after listening to a 45-minute lecture, waiting for the bell to ring for them to move on to the next subject. Picture that. Now I want you to push that image completely out of your mind, because that is not what you want to think of when it comes to homeschooling. Having that mindset is what traps you into thinking that homeschooling has to look exactly like school. And it's what traps you into making you think that learning can only look one way. So deschooling is all about letting that go. So if you are just transitioning from school into homeschooling right now, I know, I'm going to tell you, I was so excited to start homeschooling my kids when I took them out of school, because to me it was like playing school, and I always loved playing school as a kid. So that was so exciting to me that I was going to be my children's teacher. But I never took the time to deschool. And I really am telling you from experience that it really did hold me back. So as excited as you might be about getting your kids started on all the little books and everything that you got for them, I'm telling you, don't worry about them at first. Live your life. Do things that you're interested in and be a good example for your kids. And your kids, yeah, deschooling is important for them too, because they also, if they've been in school for a while, they're used to the same thing that you grew up with. You know, all the subjects being done separately, only having a certain amount of time to get things done before the bell rings, having to do things in a certain order, raise their hands to go to the bathroom, moving on to a new concept, even if they don't understand it. They're used to that. So yeah, this might be hard for them, because I know that I've heard a lot of people say that their kids kind of got stressed out during deschooling because they are so used to the whole school atmosphere that they think, I'm wasting all this time right now and I'm not actually learning. But you know what? Deschooling is all about learning. It really is, because life is filled with learning. You don't need to have it sitting in front of you in a textbook. Because to be honest with you, that learning in the textbook is the least effective way for most kids to learn. And I really want you to assure your kids that that is the truth. So just encourage them to follow their interests. You know, maybe take them to the library. Let them play outside a lot. Get a lot of crafting supplies. Whatever it is that they like to do, encourage that. But I want you as the parent to try to keep yourself from boxing everything that they do into a little list of subjects, okay? You don't want to do the little checklist while you're deschooling. I don't want you to look at them and think, oh, well, they're writing a letter right now, so they're doing language arts. I'm going to write that down. Don't do that. I'm telling you, don't do that. The time will come, especially if you live in a state where you do have to report more than other states. The time will come for you to do those sorts of things. But in the deschooling period, I really want you to get used to the idea of living completely without school. So that is the most important thing that you can do when transitioning from public school to homeschooling. Now, several months ago, it might have even been last year, I did write a blog post that gives you even more tips on transitioning from public school to homeschool. So I will link that in the description box, and it will give you more steps that you should take in order to make this a more peaceful process for you. So if you have any questions, leave a comment. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet and would like to do that, go ahead and do that. I'd really appreciate it. Have a good day.